Hi guys, it's T from Oz Paper Crafts. Welcome, welcome. Today we are going to be doing this cute little Valentine's Day card. This is part of a series of cards that many of you got a pre-cut kit from me. So this is video 3. It's a marathon day of videos today. Everything's going to be posted on YouTube, and I'm going to put it all on a playlist so you won't have to hunt and search for each video because I did one video for each card. So this one I'm calling Doily Bear card because it has this cute doily, which comes in a kit. I cut them in half to use them for the cards. And then this cute little bear guy came from this set here called Valentine Kisses. So you don't get the pre-cut, you don't get the stamped image with the kit. Stampin' Up! Doesn't allow that, but I did pre-cut the bear for you. So you'll get the die cut already cut out for you, and I'm going to show you how to stamp the image on. So you will need this set if you're doing this exact card, but you don't have to. You can use from your stash. I'm sure, you know, a heart or something or any other kind of bear that you have or creature or whatever you want will look great here. And if you don't want to use the bear, that's fine too. Okay, the other piece I want to show you, I actually sent you the die cut for the sentiment here that says Happy Valentine's Day, and it's got that nice stitching. Comes from this, and these are called, this set is called Stylish Shapes, and I wanted to point it out to you because it is a staple in my craft room. You get all these shapes in the set. It's an investment, but it is so well worth it. And as you can see, I keep some of these shapes already pre-cut and on hand and in this same envelope. So this is called Stylish Shapes. I'll put the link below. This is definitely worth having, and I use it for both card making and scrapbooking. I've used some of these larger ones on scrapbook pages, and then I use a lot of these smaller ones on cards. So, okay, so these are the two sets that you actually need. This set, this one I already sent you the die cut for. You will also need, if you're making this exact card, you'll need Memento ink, you'll need Strawberry Slush stamp pad, and you'll need Real Red stamp pad. Again, feel free to use from your stash. But this is what coordinates with the papers that I have in the pre-cut kit. You'll need glue, you'll need your tape runner, you'll need a blending brush that we're going to do some blending on the inside. I recommend having a tweezers on hand, and also the take your pick tool from Stampin' Up! If you have that. You'll for sure need the pointy end, and I like to use the pickup putty end too. So this to me was a game changer. I didn't think I needed it. As many of you heard me rant and rave about this, this was a game changer for me to have in my craft room. I use it on every project, and it's just so handy to have and makes working with some of these little pieces so much easier. And then lastly, you'll need some Stampin' Blends or alcohol markers. And this one I'm using, it doesn't have a specific name. These are the ones that you use for sort of nude tones or the brown tones, and I think this is SU 500, but I will link the exact product below so you'll know what to get if you want to get these exact ones. Okay, without further ado, if you got the kit from me, all the pieces you need come in the envelope, and be careful because there's a lot of little pieces and we don't want to lose them. So right now, we're gonna do some of the messy stuff first. So we'll need the sentiment piece, and we'll need the bear. Okay, and leave everything else all tucked in the kit here, and we'll come back to it. I don't want to lose any of the pieces, so I'm going to put this back in the envelope. I'm going to set the envelope right here. On my last video, I lost the envelope and we had to stop the video. We don't want to do that this time. So let's quickly stamp this sentiment. And this sentiment comes from, I'm using this from the Valentine Kisses stamp set. I'm going to use this one, Happy Valentine's Day. I don't send a lot of Valentine's Day cards, but I do send a few. Like I send one to my mom. I for sure give one to Dan, my better half. He always benefits from my Valentine's Day projects. I love to send him, and he really appreciates these cards. I'm so lucky to have him. If he gets this card, he'll ask me about every little detail on there and ask me how I did it and what stamps I used or how I got those dots, or he's just so attentive to the details, and I just love it. So it makes it worth it for me to spend a lot of time on a card for him because he so appreciates it. Okay, so we're going to use Memento ink, but you can use whatever color you want. We don't need a ton of ink, just enough to get some coverage. Okay, just tap, 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 and then hold that down for just a second. Okay, centering it. Oh, great. Voila. Perfect. Oh, let me zoom in, you guys, sorry. Okay. All right, I don't need this black ink anymore. I'm setting that aside, and I'm setting this aside. I'm putting this with the envelope. Okay. All right, actually, while we're playing with the black ink, let's do the inside of the card here. Oh, I'm going to do this in real red. I'm not going to do this in black. You could do this in black if you wanted, though. Okay, so let's do the inside of our card. I lied. We do need to get to the inside of the card. So let's do that, grabbing that out of the envelope, but leaving all the pieces and parts in the envelope because we only need the card base. So I'm going to slide that out. Perfect. Leave all the stuff in there, put my sentiment in there, set this aside. Okay, and I made this one in portrait. Okay, because the doily fits best if you have this portrait. But you could do it like this too, I guess. Yeah, you could do it like this and put the bear the other way. So I think that would work if you did it diagonally or what do I call landscape. Yeah, that would be really cute. Okay, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do the exact card that I sent you guys. I'm going to do this exact card. So we want to have it open like this. So I'm going to put what I call rouge, or a hue of strawberry slush ink just using my blending brush. Okay, so the way we do this, and you'll need a piece of scratch paper handy. This is my piece of scratch paper. So you open up your ink pad. Okay, let me zoom out just a tad. Okay, then you take your blending brush, and those of you who watch the other videos already know how to do this. Tap, tap, tap onto your ink pad. And then you want to tap some of the ink off so that little splotch is on your scratch paper and not on your card. Okay. And then my card, I'm just going to start swirling the brush and come onto the paper as I'm swirling, because you don't want to get an ink splotch, you know, that looks like an imprint of a blending brush on your paper. You want the ink to spread evenly. Okay. So I know it's hard to see on camera. Oops. I think I have a cat hair. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. I have a cat. Cat hair gets everywhere. Okay. So just keep applying light pressure and blend, blend, blend. So what I mean by that is you don't need to re-ink this brush. Just keep swirling, and that ink does come off of the brush, I promise. You just keep going until you get the desired shade or hue of strawberry slush that you want, okay? And I just want enough to make it a little bit rosy. Just like I don't like to put too much blush on my cheek. It's like applying makeup, same idea. You just keep blending and blending and blending until you have the desired hue. Okay, that looks good. So let me just show you close up. See? I just blended it, and it blended pretty evenly into the section of the card that I want. Now I'm gonna grab my real red ink and a block, and on the inside I'm gonna do let's see, I think I'm gonna do on this one, on the sample, I did sending lots of love your way to celebrate this special day. Yep, I think we'll stick with that sentiment. I don't really want to use bear hugs and kisses. I have that one on a different card. So the way I like to line up my sentiments, as many of you see me do, my little trick here, is to put the stamp down, so I can read the words. And I line it up on the line on my grid paper. I'll zoom in slightly. Okay, so you guys can see that. And then I take my block and I pick up the stamp with that, okay? Because that way I know it got onto the block very straight. Some of these blocks have lines on them, but I can never get it to coordinate with the line, or I can't see the line or whatever. So this way I know it's straight. Okay. So then I'm just going to put this ink up here. I don't want to get it on my sleeve. All right. Tap, 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 tap. I don't need too much ink. And you don't want to rock the block, because then you end up getting like ink on the block, and then it ends up on your project. Okay. And then just stamp. Can you guys see? I want to make sure you can see it. Sorry about that. Okay. Yeah. All right. Then I'm just going to put it here in the rosy part of my area where I applied the strawberry slush ink and blended that in. Stamp over that and hold that for a second. Voila. Okay, wonderful. I love it. That looks so pretty. Okay, I'm gonna close out my ink pad so I don't get ink all over myself, which I have a tendency to do. I'm kind of a messy crafter. Okay, the other thing I wanna do that I did on this one is you need a journaling pen of some kind. So I just grabbed, this one is Le Pen. I've had it forever. It's my Marviuchita, or however you pronounce that. I really like the quality of their inks. And again, I'm just going to freehand this, kids. All right. I'm not going to be fancy in any way. All right. So I just call this doodling, and I'm going to doodle from here. And then I just pull straight down around the bend on my card. Okay. Pulling straight down again. Around the bend. Not perfect. That's okay. That's what doodling's all about, not being perfect. Down here. And then right into my sentiment. Lovely. I love that. Okay. Now, set that aside. Now I'm going to show you how to do our bear. And for that, I need my stamp press. So you will need your die cut bear if you're doing this, and you'll need the Valentine Kisses, this stamp out of the Valentine Kisses stamp set. Okay. So what I did was I put him on a stamp press and I lined it up with the negative space of the die cut. And I may have even included one of these in your kit, the negative space. If I didn't, put a comment below and I will get that out to you. Okay. I'm using a Misti. I've had a Misti here in my craft room forever. I really like them. They have kind of the corner market on stamp presses. However, Stampin' Up! Just came out with a stamp press. I literally got it, I think, yesterday. It's still in the box. I haven't even got it out yet. So today we're going to continue to use my Misti, but I'm really hoping that the Stampin' Up! Stamp press changes my world. I have a lot of faith in what they've designed. Okay, so the magic of this is I'm just going to do a test run here. I'm going to put a little piece of scratch paper underneath the negative space of the die cut. And then I'm going to zoom way out so you can see what I'm doing here. And then I'm going to ink this guy up with Memento ink. It is very important to use Memento ink, okay? You need ink that you can use with alcohol markers. If you use regular black ink, your alcohol markers image might bleed. The ink might bleed, so you don't want that. So I highly recommend this Memento ink. I've been using Memento ink forever in my craft room, and I love it. It's never disappointed me. Okay, so I've got this inked up. Now I'm going to close the lid and just press. That's why they call this a stamp press. All right, pick that up. And I actually like that. That made a really nice clean image. So, but if it didn't, I could just ink this up and stamp it again and keep stamping it down until I get the desired darkness. But that turned out great, okay? So I'm gonna remove that, and now I'm gonna put my guy in here. Take your bare die cut. I'll zoom in for this part so you can see how to line it up. A little bit more, okay. So we line it up here. And just make sure you get him into the negative space exactly. Oops, this is my spare bear. Let me get the one out of the kit. Sorry, he had a little clipped elbow. I didn't want that. Pull the one out of. Well, I don't have an extra. No, I do have an extra. Hold on. I have an extra one that does not have a clipped elbow. Trust me, you guys got all the good ones. You didn't get any defective ones. Okay, here's a non-defective bear. I'm going to stick him in there. Okay, the secret here is making sure you've got this lined up exactly. So make sure his feet are lined up. Make sure his elbows are lined up. You don't want them sticking out. You make sure his ears are exactly lined up in there, okay? That's another reason I sent you the gray one, so you could see how to line this up in there very easily. Then you ink your bear using Memento ink. Remember, it's important to use Memento black ink because we are going to color him with alcohol markers. Okay. Got a good amount of ink on him. And then press down. You don't need to press terribly hard, honestly. Okay. Because you can press over and over if you didn't quite get it. All right. I didn't quite get it. See how I'm missing a little bit? Can you see that? See how I'm missing a line there? So I'm just going to ink it up again. Okay. And we get to do a do-over. And this is not moved. I have a little bit of stickiness there. I put a little bit of double-sided tape in the bottom there so that he won't move. That way I can stamp him again. All right. And I will press a little bit harder this time, but you don't have to press too hard. Okay. Yep, almost. I like mine really crisp. Okay, I'm totally happy with that. Now we can pull him up. So this is my double-sided sticky tape. You could use washi tape. You can use, there's all kinds of like low tack tape that you can get just to make it so that this won't pull up when you pull the stamp press up and it doesn't stick to the stamp itself. So you do want to have some sort of tacky adhesive down there just to hold him in place while you stamp him to the desired, to make sure that outline is nice and clear. Okay, setting my stamp press aside. Say that 10 times fast. All right, I'm just going to clean up my little bits and pieces here I dumped out of the envelope. I don't want to lose any of them. Okay. The other thing I should mention is that these hearts here came from the shaker card kit. So you'll need to dig into the shaker card and pull out a few of those hearts. I sent you like a million of them. There should be enough there, but I didn't separate them out and put them in with this project specifically. You just need to pull them out of the shaker card kit. Okay, because you'll need them for this. So now let's learn how to color this guy. And I have my sample here that I did on my stamp press so I can see what I'm doing. Just to sample these colors. Okay, this is the lighter color. No, that's the darker one. And this is the lighter one. Actually, this is the darker one. Okay, so I am going to, this is going to be a dark bear. I love it. He's going to be darker than the sample. So then I'm just going to take, yep, I like that. So I'm just going to take my brush end because I want to get broad strokes. And this is really forgiving. So don't worry if you go over some of the lines and stuff. This is not a perfect science. I like to start at the real detailed parts here. And you just literally brush the paper. You do not need to press in any way. These are very juicy and the ink comes off very easily. So you literally are just applying almost like brush strokes. Okay, you don't really need to press. It's not like you're coloring with a crayon. With a crayon or colored pencils or something where you want to get the color on. This just literally flows right off the brush. Literally almost like watercolor paint in some ways. Okay. So as you can see, I'm just doing this very quickly. You get outside the lines, that's okay. This is not a perfect science. This is crafting, right? Okay, I'm super happy with that. And I'm just gonna take then the darker one. This was the darker one, I think. They're both pretty similar. All right, and then I'm just gonna go around like his ears here, give them a little brown hue, and then just kind of go around the edges just to give him, and then on his little paws here, I put some more, just to give him some dimension almost. I just like to outline him with the darker side. Give him some dark features. His little paws, I like to color the edges of his little paws like that. Again, not perfect, right? Make those a little bit thicker. okay? All right, I'm really happy with that. Okay. Now, setting all of that aside, let's start assembling. So we got our bear here. I'll zoom out for you guys. We got our bear. Now we're gonna get the other pieces and parts. So we need our card base that we already did the inside to. We need this piece here. Zooming out further, sorry. Okay. I am not an expert with the camera. You guys are champs. Hanging in there with me. So you'll need this piece, which goes on top of the card base. Then we'll need the Designer Series paper. Okay. And the Designer Series paper is double-sided, okay? So you want to watch your orientation. So on this one, the orientation won't work. I did cut it wrong, but I'm okay with that because I'm just going to use this side of it. But you guys should have gotten one with the XOs going the right direction. And then I will need the white piece here to make that doily pop. Oops. This here, these are the balloon strings. We don't need those just yet. We'll need them in a minute. Okay, so I'm gonna glue all this stuff down first with my tape runner. All right, so let's just start with the layers. Start with this layer first. My strawberry slush paper, or pretty in pink, I can't remember which it is. Yeah, okay. So I'm just gonna add tape runner to this all around the edges. And this is really sticky tape. This is one of the stickiest tape runners I've ever owned. If anybody watched my last video, you saw me make a mistake and have to pull it up. It was so sticky because I just like to eyeball it. And I did it again. Yep, it sticks. It sticks. Very sticky. Okay. No worries, we're gonna fix it. Okay, and there's no border on this one, so you wanna get it right to the edge there. Okay, can y'all see that? Right to, okay, so I just lined it up with this far edge here. Okay. Then we're gonna take our piece of DSP and sort of center it in between with a little bit. So you have a little bit here on the bottom. Okay, you wanna have a little bit here on the bottom. Actually, let's put the doily piece here first, I think. I think that would get these pieces down like that. Yeah, so that'll help me guide where to glue this up like that. Okay, leave that piece there. Oops, don't tap it, Tamara, you'll move it. All right. Putting some tape on this. Then lining this up like so. Just winging it. Okay, great. And then do the white. Okay. Line that up. Okay, and then the doily. And with the doily, I like to have my pickup square handy. This is called a pickup square. I think I got it at one of the big box craft stores. I've had it forever. But just in case like you get a little bit of glue coming through one of those hearts, I like to use that to get the glue up. And I also use my pickup tool for this just to kind of get that stickiness so it's not there. You could also use liquid glue and apply it more precisely. But again, I'm kind of a lazy crafter, so I'm just going to do this. And then I just line this doily up here, the bottom of the white edge, like so. Okay, and I got a little, just a teeny bit of adhesive coming through on the hearts. Okay, that. Now I'm going to place my bear, and I want to put that sentiment down here. So grabbing my sentiment, and you can pop this up or you can glue it right on. I think I will glue it right on because I want to pop up the bear. Actually, no, I'll pop this up too. So I need some foam squares or dimensionals, whatever you have handy. And for those of you that did the shaker card, these came with the shaker card. So I actually sent you, you got some adhesive in this kit. Not all my kits come with adhesive, but this one did. So this is left over from the shaker card. So if you didn't use the shaker, if you haven't done the shaker card video yet, go look to see how to get these squares so you can use them for this project. Okay, and I'm going to center that there. I haven't glued down the bear yet, but I'm just going to center him here like so. Okay. Give you guys a little closer look on that. Okay. So then before I glue down my bear, I want to put the balloon strings in his paws. And that's really easy. Okay, so just grab your balloon strings out of your envelope, okay? And I'm actually going to use tweezers, where tweezers come in really handy. I'm just going to grip this very carefully with my tweezers. And then these are already pre-cut slits in the bear. Can you see that? He's already pre-cut. And I'm just going to slide the strings in through that slit using my tweezers. Okay. All right. So then you can see on the back, it comes through like that. I'm just going to pull those through a little bit further down. I'm going to angle the balloon. I'm going to angle these so they're not in front of his face, okay? So I want them to be kind of long, right? Because remember, we're going to put, here's the example. We're going to make these strings should jut out here to the left because we're going to attach the hearts here as balloons. Okay, so I don't want them covering his muzzle there. And on the back, this is what it looks like. And the reason we do this first is because that is where we're going to put our foam tape. Okay. So foam tape goes right there. So you don't even have to glue it or anything. This is a neat trick just to pop up the bear. It's a twofer. You get to glue the balloon strings. At the same time, we are popping up the bear. And I'm using all these little bits and pieces that came with the shaker card kit. Okay, one more little piece to the side. All right, I'm happy with that. Peel the backings off of these. Okay, get all of those up. Wow, sticking to my fingers. Having nails really helps, but if you don't have nails, tweezers is also a good tool to use. Okay. Now, I'm going to put him down onto the card. Get here on camera for you guys. Put him onto the card here. Just centering him. I want to center him between my sentiment. And put his ears right under the heart. Oops, got a little... Here's one of those runaway. Okay, this is where my pickup tool comes in really handy. So this end of the pickup tool has like putty on it. And this is where you can like pick up stuff. Get it out of the way. It's also good for embellishments. Okay, great. So he's down. Now for the embellishing part. So we're gonna use some of these balloons that I have sent in your kit. And then we've got some gems here to stick down. So everything should be in the envelope except for these balloons. You'll have to grab these balloons out of the shaker card kit. So I think I already grabbed some for me and they're here. Okay, and for these, I think I'm gonna go ahead and use, how did I do that? Yep, I used foam tape for those too. So that I may have to cut, or maybe those mini dimensionals. Let me see if I have mini dimensionals handy. Yeah, I think these mini dimensionals might work a little better on those. Okay, so these are mini dimensionals that you can get from Stampin' Up. I think they're like $4 a pack or something. So let me grab my tweezers and my heart. Okay. Put my mini dimensional on the heart. Okay. Yeah, looks like he's going to be a little big. So I'm just going to trim a little bit of the mini dimensional. Just trim. Okay. Trim a little bit more. You may want to use, I think there are bigger heart pieces. I think I grabbed the smaller ones, but there are some bigger ones in your kit that you should be able to use. Okay, I'm fine with that. Then peel the backing off. And then I want to stick it down on top of my balloon string. So I'm not gluing the balloon string down again. I'm doing a twofer with my my mini dimensionals or my foam tape. Okay, and then let that go. Voila. Okay, so we're gonna do it again. And I would pick the bigger hearts. I picked the smaller hearts here, but you should have bigger hearts like this in your kit. So I'm making this harder than it has to be on myself. But that's okay, we can do hard things. But I am gonna trim these before I stick it to the heart because it makes it easier. So I'm just gonna cut this guy in half. Okay, and then save that for this one. I'm gonna stick this onto the heart here. Can you guys see? Okay, stuck that on, peeling this up, and then I'm gonna stick that. I'm gonna drag this one over here. Okay, so I have a balloon that's kind of flying away a little bit, but it'll look better when I get that one on there. Okay, so last one, taking my other piece of heart, using my tweezers to hold it, then take my foam tape that I've cut to fit this heart a little better. You guys shouldn't have to cut it because I think I gave you big ones. So the big ones, you can just use the regular dimensionals or even some of the foam squares that came with your shaker card. And then stick like so. Kept grabbing that balloon string there. Okay, we got those stuck down. All right, we're almost done. Yay. Okay, then I have, I should have included 4 or 5 or 6 of these gems and these coordinating gems of all different sizes and whatnot. And this is where I love to use my take pick tool. I love to use either this pointy end or the X-Acto knife end to pick these up because it makes it so much easier. Because you just hold it down and just stick it under there to grab the adhesive part underneath the gem. These are adhesive back gems, and just grab that adhesive part and it makes it easier to just sort of stick it down here. Okay, so I'm gonna do one here. Do this one on the other side, like so. And then I think I'm gonna do these darker ones here, like that. One more here. This is not perfect, okay. Yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do with that. That's an extra one. I'll figure out. I'm gonna put these in the center of the hearts. So we'll do one here and yeah, do one. Let's do this one here. One here, and then this one over here. Yay. Okay. I am super happy with that. Voila. Happy Valentine's Day. Wouldn't you just love to get this card in the mail? Look how happy that bear is. And then on the inside, sending lots of love your way to celebrate this special day. Okay, you guys, this has been a great, fun project to do with you guys. I'm so thankful for all of you that bought the pre-cut kit. If you'd like the pre-cut kit, definitely comment below and reach out to me. Even if it's months later, I still might have one left in my stash. So don't hesitate to contact me if you would like to get this pre-cut kit. You can get it for free with a $50 order. So let me know. And if you used your stash, definitely let me know what it looks like. I'd love to see you guys post on Oz Paper Crafts Facebook page what projects you're doing with this kit. So you'll need to get Valentine's Day Kisses if you want to make this exact card. I have a link below, again, with the complete list of supplies. And there's one more card you have to do. So if you got the kit from me, there's one more video. They're all linked in the same playlist. So anyway, happy Valentine's Day. Thanks for joining me. Bye.